Alright, for architects and engineers, an introduction fire rated glazing. Richard S. Combe, PEASCE, Architect Consulting Engineering, Architect 340 East South 66 Avenue, Anchorage, Arkansas 99518. Phone number 907-355-1106. Alright, fire retardant glazing table contents. Table of contents introduction, general reference discussed in this document, specification, glazing types, accessories, seating and ceiling materials, options available through the design and resource document, suggested order reference, performance characteristic, glazing type, components, method, installation, and placement final exam. Fire retardant glazing introduction. The core concept discussion here must present with a broad overview, use of glazing materials in design construction. Course description. This course is about fire-rated, fire-resistant glazing materials component system assemblies introduced, including a provision separation of adjacent spaces and structures. Information supports determination requisite measure protection against temperature rise accompanied with flame and smoke mitigation. Enclosed with the present new advanced materials for windows with specific emphasis on fire resistance, high heat rise, and transparency. The experience and skill, especially work knowledge of projection, specification, proper foundation, further development. This course, in addition, being professional education, document is prepared as a fluid throughout, handy reference and inclusion into architecture engineers toolbox reference materials. Historical perspective in 1500 BC, glass making was begun in Egypt. 3,000 years later, in 1830, John Hartley, Scotsman, working through the W.E. Chase in England, began to manufacture sheet glass. For 2 years, John Hardy began experimenting with a new German plate glass manufacture method. However, John died in death in 1833, paved the way for his new son James and John. First partner W.E. Chance, then 1836 left the partnership. Chance and Hartley to set up their own firm, James Hartley and Company. James Hartley was subsequently granted a patent for roll plate glass in 1838. The use of the glass material was heralded by Crystal Palace of the 1851 built in Joseph Paxton's accommodated with the Great Exposition. 1898, Pinkelton invented wire glass for safety and security. However, note since the wire glass exhibited low impact resistance since 2006, the IBC is prohibited to have the location all facility type. Float glass modern windows first provided before profitable in 1960. Method of making float glass consists of the formation of a continuous sheet of glass upon a molten tin bath results in uniform flat surface. Most float glass is soda lime glass, also available, and borosilicate flat panel displaced glass event of the products superior to glass include those use of silicone, ceramic transparency. D for years criteria. Fire rating windows provided with the UBC Unified Building Code. Table 5A SAD criteria rating windows based on window type, building type use, method of construction, wood and metal, and the allowable separation between adjacent structures feet and inches. Currently, the IBC International Building Code governs systems and assemblies. Comparison of glass glazing systems, fire protection, fire resistant. Fire protection system depends against fire, flame spread, and smoke mitigation. Specially tempered glass, ceramic are the materials choice for such system. This type of glazing is typically suited with the building's code all open protective assembly. Fire resistant, the type of the system provided with a greater protection with the fire protective system. This is due to blocking the transfer of conductive as well. The radiant heat glass glazing of this type is suitable with the application of their building codes requiring enclosure of interior space by fire-resistant enclosures. Examples include the fire separation 1 hour or more that also require meeting exceeding the temperature rise guidelines, especially stairwells, exit corridors, or other required fire barriers. The IBC requires the temperature rise, not fire side of glass, not to exceed 250 degrees Fahrenheit above ambient temperature at the end of the test, usually 1 to 2 hours. Note that the glass must also pass a hose stream test. General learning objectives intended for the audience incorporate latest technology advanced with the glass production. Use include the document among available continuing education publication, practice architectural engineering, particularly with the state license board in general. Design of this document is set up with a professional practitioner may use with a quick reference guide when working with fire Glazing reference documents discussed in this document. Design guidance of the whole building guide, whole building design guide. Your construction criteria based federal library with documentation, specification, regulations, standards, CAD, engineering, environmental, sustainable design tools. Information includes experimental knowledge such as federal construction requirements, real time, real world document reference, unified facility criteria, specs and tags, specs based on the CBC guidelines, UFGS, Unified Facility Guided Specs, UFC, Unified Facility Criteria found in the whole Building Design Guide Document Library, Veteran Administration Master Specifications, UFGCS Master Index incorporates all sources, Army, Navy, Air Force, NASA. Mil-spec criteria include CCB, UFGS, UFC, UFGS, UFC, Uniform Fire Code, and is considering most helpful NIBS, National Institute Building Standards, NPBDG, National Performance Based Design Guide, NFPA 80, Standard Fire Doors and Windows, UFC, additional resource for the most useful internet search, www.fireglass.com, project management, Whole Building Design Guide.org, reference include all small space allowance requirements, Mill Standard 3007F, as well as UFC 13002. Code compliance include requirements UFC Uniform Fire Code, UPC Uniform Plumbing Code, UEC Uniform Electrical Code, Operation Maintenance, Specs and Attack, KSC, NASA.gov, Standardization Facility Construction Specifications, publication reference, code-based design, International Building Code, Fire, Chapter 7 and 9, resistant protection requirements, Windows firewalls, IBC 716.6, firewalls, IBC section 705, exterior walls, IBC section 705, glazing, IBC 703.5 and 716.5, temperature rise, IBE section 703.3, it requires ASCME 119, UL 263 to determine the rise of temperature. Plug the number of the derived equivalent area with the protected openings. Determine allowable area open with the exterior wall. Note the openings protected as the unprotected. Fire separation is important factor, and once the distance is known, one can determine the ratio protected with the unprotected openings. American Society of Testing Materials E119 2012A standard testing method of the fire test building construction material. E136 2012 tested method behavior material subject temperatures to 750 degrees Fahrenheit. E81-4 NUL 1479 time period limits minimum temperature rise to 325 degrees above the initial temperature. See IBCT rating definition page 37 of IBC and American National Standard Institute, Glass Association of North America, Unified Fire Code, National Fire Protection Association, UL guidelines, doors, windows, related hardware, current January 2015, Insulation Glass Manufacturer Alliance, National Fenestration Rating Council, U.S. Department of Energy, U.S. National Archive Record Administration. Performance-based design, National Performance-based guide, design guide establishes performance-based requirements to be employed, programming, design documentation of new buildings, major, minor alteration work, and historic structures of all kinds. The guide presents information based on research and development, support with the Science Technology Directory with the Department of Homeland Security, Public Buildings, Surface General Surface Administration, Test IBC Chapter 17, Special Inspection Test, BC 104.11.2, absent recognized accepted test methods for the building official shall approve the testing procedure. Independent Design Certification IBC 104.11, the alternative materials design method of construction equipment IBC 1709. 5, 2406, 1, 1, 2408, 2, 1, testing. Glazing type, the basic design of glazing components rated to resist the spread of the fire extent of the period of time prescribed by the criteria that include method of insulation accessories. Type component system itself will be noted choice for the transparent glazing as vary according to design parameters. Are available glazing choices: fire safety rated glass wall panel, ceramic transparent, specially tempered glass, surface applied fire rated film, 2-panel glazing system with gel instrumental insulation layer between, accessories hardware, perform channel setting block, edge block, sealant and sealing materials, sealant and glazing compounds, glazing compounds, sealants, electrometric sealant, structural sealant, joint backer, sealing tape, glazing gaskets, fire, glazing gaskets, Option available to the designer. Method recommendation given the installation addressing here with the number of the products available in the marketplace overall advisable with each of the product. Examine the paying close attention with the salient characteristic for the sake of the comparison. Generally, research manufacturer contact such phone call will provide answer to queries relative to the glazing type, accessory settings, sealing materials. Sustainable design combination. Fire safety rated glass. Fire safety rated gas must be laminated. Type 1 transportation flat type class 1 clear. Or in some heavy thermal conditions, tinted glass may require heavy strength. Considerable glazed panel size located adjacent to the door size glass planing panel are required for the interior separations greater than 4 feet with a permanent separation doorway intervening structural walls at the top of the door. Safety glazing is not required for the panels separated with the doorway intervening permanent wall glazed panels with a surface area greater than 9 foot square feet where the walking surface at either side of the panel walking surface within 36 inches of the glazing material panel. Safety glazing is not required for the lowest edge of the glazing material and 18 inches or more above the both walking surface if the panel has a horizontal member, such as mule-on permanent railing not less than 1.5 inches in width, capable of the wood standing a horizontal load of 50 pounds lineal foot on accessible side and glazing located 24 to 36 inches above the walking surface. When the insulation units are used in the location required safety glazing panels must be laminated intumescent with float glass accessible with ASTM E119. Glass must have fire ratings from 45 minutes to 60 minutes, 90 to 120 minutes. Though there may be a gel interlayer insulating material, again, this depends on the producer's standard design. For exterior application, safety glazing must also meet the wind snow load requirements according to the ASTM E1300. In general, any glazed area subject to human impact should be provided with the safety glazing and other acceptable protective devices such as handrails or horizontal mullions. Ceramic transparent glazing, transparent glass, thermic fiber protection rated glazing material. Less rigorous intended than Clyde placement, safety related to location subject with low impact stress designated location. Maybe, for instance, transom fire related windows panel type of the glazing may be specified to meet the criteria up to 90 minutes. It's usually a rigorous situation require high impact ceramic glazing meeting blast fire rated windows. Criteria above available products 45 to 65 90 minute rated. UL classified operating and fixed having variable depths. Fire window care maintenance addressed for the National Fire Protection Association 80. Standard gauge, standard regulated for the installation maintenance to assemble the device for the protective opening wall floors ceilings against the spread of fire smoke within to and onto the building, out of the building. The feature of the National Fire Protection Association Code development is that it opens consensus based for any of the participating in the development of these documents. Glass ceramic available to insulated glass units are composed of a two-layer temperature glazing. When airspace between they may incorporate many types of fiberglass, including clear tinted low E, mirrored glass IGUs provided with fire protection compliant with the Apple code, sometimes contribute to reduction in sound transmission. Note, wire glass no longer specified as fire protective application. Wire glass has been replaced specifically with tempered glass. Silent characteristics tempered glass should display a reduction in heat transfer, floor to ceiling design capability, relatively large weight. It's recommended to use for the test of wall glass ceramic comes from size of 24 square foot glass ceramic or with a stand thermal shock of water from sprinklers and fire hoses when impact. Safety consideration glass ceramic available up to Category 2 CPSC 16 CFR 1201. Impact safety ratings. The highest standard impact safety rating available as such glass safely withstand a full-grown, fast-moving adult, specially tempered glass. Temperature glass preferred material of areas requiring safety glass material. Tempered glass, roughly 4 times longer for the common anneal glazing. Typically, anneal glass shattered into jagged shards on breaking with, while specially tempered glass fractures in small, relatively harmless pieces. Note, specially tempered glass components cannot pass the hot stream test due to the fact that the products cannot withstand rapid cooling, impact, erosion effects of the hot stream. In the United States, hot stream tests are required with glass fire ratings greater than 20 minutes. Surface applied fire rated film. Post-applied film improve the fire resistant existing glass cascades and become available to design newly developed films who fire resistant flat glass surface to which they are applied. The material is essentially glass film made with liquid gas. Solid film is applied on both sides of the glass surface. Also, the product passes the ISO 834 heat curve test Two-panel glazing system with gel intermittent insulation layer. The fire safety related must be laminated type 1 transparent or flat type class 1 clear. Glass must have up to 20 to 45 to 60 minute rating when tested according to the ASTM E119. Glass product must be permanently labeled with appropriate markings. Alright, resource and document suggested order of reference. The whole building design is powerful information foundation guidance for the tool preparation document with respect to built environment. The whole building design serves as the building industry professional. Previously mentioned, the whole building design is organized by 3 categories. Scope of the whole building design guide composed material assembled from the National Institute of Building Standards. Experiential knowledge garnered from the available U.S. government sources, including document reference readily available to the practitioner. Whole building design is organized in 3 categories: design guidance, project maintenance, operation maintenance. The PDF of the performance building design example, the few available to subjects include future earthquake, wind engineering, nonlinear dynamic analysis, CSI Computer Structure Incorporated, Berkeley, California. Your Unified Facility Design Guide specification, perhaps most useful sort of the guide specification, UFGS Master Index available in the Internet document, incorporates military source, Army, Navy, Air Force, and more. Sees available link, whole building guidelines, product system, UFG, Unified Facility Guidelines, VAMS. Performance characteristics by glazing type of components. Once again, available glazing choices are fire safety rated glass wall panels, ceramic transparent, specifically tempered glass, surface applied fire rated film, 2-panel glazing system with gel intermittent insulation layer between. Generally, each of the glazing chain choices presents strength and weakness, particularly over the glazing material. Of course, hardware setting with the ceiling material size, placement, glaze unit, paramount, and porcelain glazed material fire ratings can vary from 20 minutes to 3 hours following the review of salient characteristics. Glazing choices available. The choices for the listed here in order: highest degree, fire protective A, fire protective capacity, to E, fire resistive capability. Plus reference of page 3, the document an in-depth comparison fire protective versus fire resistive with the description of qualities for each of the system worthy consideration. Fire safety rated glass wall panels are special multi-layer assembly block mitigation conductive radiant units tested with the same resistance standard. Solid walls non-restricted to an area of 25% of the wall, as may be the case of the fire protective system. Type of the product suitable for the full let. Glass doors, floor to ceiling design, wall to wall design, large expensive with glass deployed. Ratings of up to 2 hours can be achieved. High safety rated glass wall panels. Continued designer that can therefore provide clear, high visibility, transparent wall panels that not only provide light but security as well. Are your ceramic transparent? Once installed with a wireless ceramic product tested similar with the common windows, provided with ample flexibility, design effective with replacing wire glass, and ceramics are able to withstand thermal shock. Water from sprinkler fire hoses. Units can be obtained on the size of the 24 square feet per light. The impact safety issue ceramic glass was available to category 2 size standard with the architectural glazing material. U.S. law impact and safety ratings, high impact rating achievable. This is equivalent impact, similar, fast moving, full grown adult. In addition, the National Fire Protection Association 257 states the hot stream test provides method of evaluating integrity construction assembly for eliminating inadequate material construction, cooling, impact, erosion effects. Hose stream provided test integrity of the specimen being evaluated to stay with a hot stream test required by the United States. Glass ceramics can also be specified insulated glass units. 2 layers of glass within an airspace unit between. Units incorporate various types of floated glass, clear, tinted, low E, and more. Insulated glass units sometimes employed with the interior application mandate slotted reduction. Specially tempered glass with the types of glass can only carry 20-minute rating. Products of the nature cannot withstand thermal shock. They do not pass hose stream test, which is the requirement. Using special tempered glass usually finds its place in 20-minute fire doors. Surface applied fire rating film, safely rated fire glass ceramic with approved surface applied fire rated film. The add measure for the ad protected with the produce the fire rating ranging from 220 to 180 minutes of the film. Manufactured 2 grades, premium and standard, with the objective of clear view with priority. Materials, interior applications such as door, side lights, trans and bar lights. Premium designation ceramic glaze with the headbands polished smooth both sides. It does not display obvious imperfection such as distortion, surface waviness. 2-panel glazing system with gel intermittent insulation layer between intermittent fire rated glazing and laminated product. Alerting layers, glass can clear in an intermittent layer, inner layers, depending on the number of the inner layers. Fire rating can be each 3 hours. When exposed to fire, outer layer of glass share the intermittent inner layer holds the glass in place, but also rapidly expands to provide insulated layer of protection that prevents the spread of fire and smoke, thermal heat radiation. Primary benefit in intermittent glazing is that it prevents thermal heat radiation, hence it can be used as a fire resistant with assembly. Note the unit must carry appropriate fire labeled by virtue having properly tested. Methods of insulation provided require the complete code compliant insulation include appropriate with the glazing points, clips, trims, angles, beads, spacer strips. Spacer strips provide no corroding metal accessories. All provides primary seal cleaners recommended by glass and sealant manufacturers. Worthy of note, when there are safety glasses required, both lights and insulating units must have safety glass. Each light must have a permanent label. Please also note when property's critical engineering performance design meets the requirements of UFC 1200-02 high performance sustainable building requirements invokes requirements of UFC 3-10101, Architect UFC 100-202 and UFC 3-10101 make references to therefore to various ASHRAE documents covering energy efficient requirement of component of the building envelope design including fenestration and glazing. Glazing use the door makes carry a permanent label of the safety rated. Safety glazing is required both lights. Insulation materials must be safety glass and carry permanent and fixed label. Art accessories, joint baker. Joint baker must have the diameter size less than 25% large joint width type of material recommended writing glass sealant manufacturer. Neopyrin vinyl rubber recommended by glass manufacturer. Particular condition channels must be chemically compatible with glazing. Note the bullet glaze resistant glass include a design restrictive for the glazed unit channels must be synthetic rubber ASTMC 864 not less than a quarter inch thick or sufficient resilient accommodated expansion contraction while maintaining a vapor tight seal between the glass and frame. Setting block and edge blocks closed cell neoprene setting blocks must dense extruded type conform with ASTM C509 and D395 method B short A durometer between 70 and 90 edge block short A durometer 50 plus minus 5 plus or minus 5. Provide silicone setting blocks when blocks contact silicone sealant. Provide lengths of the location. Most required recommended writing glass manufacturer. Block color must be black. Setting materials glazing compound use face glazing metal sash. Do not use the insulating glass units laminated glass. Sealing material sealant provide elastometric structural sealant ASTM 2920 type S grade NSC glass 12.5 use G. Channel stop glazing wood and metal sash sealant with a maybe chemically compatible with setting block edge block sealing tapes with sealant used in fabrication insulating glass unit with plastic especially sheet color C. It must be white structural sealant ASTM C 1184 type S. Sealing tape performs semi-solid PVC based material of proper size with compressibility particular condition complying with the ASTM D2287 only where glazing rabbit is designed to tape and tape the recommended with the glass sealant manufacturer provides shapes, laser shimmers. If using compressible tapes, tapes must be chemically compatible with the product of being set. Glazing gaskets provide appropriate glazing glasses. Glazing gaskets must contribute to the continuous integral locking projection design and engaged metal glass holding members with provide watertight sealing, dynamic load building movements, thermal movements. Glazing gaskets for single glaze opening must continue as one piece with factory fabricated injection molded corners free of flashing burrs. Glazing gaskets must be in lengths of units recommended with the manufacturer ensure against pullback of the corners. Provide gasket seal. Glazing gasket profile recommended with manufacturer intended application. Fixed glazing gaskets must be closed cell with a sponge smooth with extruded compression gasket curd. Elastometric virgin neoprene compounds conforming with ASTM C509 Type 2 Option 1. Wedge glazing gaskets. Wedge glazing gaskets must be high quality extrusion corroded elastometric virgin neoprene compounds ozone resistant conforming with ASTM C864 Option 1. Shuro A diameter between 65 and 75. Aluminum framing glazing gaskets. Glazing gaskets for aluminum framing were permanently elastic nail shrinking mitigated watertight, weather tight. Mastic, minor application generally mastic setting mirror windows must be polymer approved with alternative mastic resistant water shot cracking vibration thermal expansion. Fried mastic compatibility window backing surface coatings approved by manufacturer placement. Any materials show visual evidence of biomechological growth due to the presence of the moisture must not be installed with the building project preparation. Unless otherwise specified, approved must conform with the applicable recommendation of the GNA Glazing Manual, GNA Sealant Manual, IGMA TB 3001, IGMA TM 3000, Manufacturer Recommendation. Determine the size to provide required edge clearance of the measuring actual opening and receive of the glass edge of the exposed with the shop grinding edge is smooth. Leave label, place in the insulation approved with a special except for the remove the ply with the heating absorbent glassing on insulating glass units as over the insulated securely fix movable items and keep closed in the locked position until the glazing compound is set. Glass setting, shore, glaze, flail, glaze items, glazing units, glass of the quality thickness specified indicated with glazing unless otherwise specified approved must conform to applicable recommendation GNA glazing, GNA sealant, IGM TB 3000, IGM TM 3000 manufacturer recommendation. Aluminum windows, wood doors, wood windows must be glazed in conformance with one glazing method described in the standards under which they product, except for the face of putting without bedding will not be permitted. Handled installing glazes material according to manufacturer instruction. Using bead stops furnished the items will be glazed and secured with the glass in place. Verify products properly installed, connected, and adjusted. Protection. Protect glass work immediately after installation. Identify glazed openings. Suitable warning tapes, cloth, paper flags attached to non-staining adhesives. Proper reflective glass. Protective material. Eliminate any contaminating reflective coating. Place reflective material in enough away from the coated glass. Allow the air to circulate. Heat buildup. Moisture accumulation on the glass. Remove the separate protective materials. Reuse, recycle, remove, replace broken, chipped, cracked, braided, or otherwise damaged glass units. Those new units damaged during construction activity. And fire rotating final exam. And that completes the introduction fire rated glazing for architects and engineers.